Minoc.
Welcome to 375 Alive. I am David the Dead.
I'm Ryan Speaks Geek.
And today we are talking Hasbro's latest Fanstream. Star Wars 3.75 inch is represented quite heavily on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we won't be talking about the Black Series. No hate to the Black Series, but this is 375 Alive.
375 scale, as you can see in front of you. Okay, so Hasbro seems to be doing these once a month at the moment.
Yes.
We've got one in January, February, now March. We know next month is also Star Wars Celebration, and then after that we'll have May the 4th, so I expect we'll still be getting more and more reveals drip-fed each month.
As long as it's actual reveals, not pipelines. I'm not a big fan of pipeline.
No, well, there's no pipelines on this stream, so great. Excellent. Right, okay, cool. Let's get straight into it then. Jing and Emily were representing the Vintage Collection.
Yes.
And their first reveal. There's a few spoilers here on the table.
Yeah, to be fair, like, all spoilers.
Yeah.
And a couple of curveballs, like, we just included this in one. Dengar.
Dengar. It's a repack, but it's a sensible repack. It's a one that makes sense.
Is it hard to find? Obviously, because I'm not as au fait with like the TVC, like in regards to
I'd say the original release is probably crept up in value. It's VC01. It's like the original, removable cod piece.
Removable cod piece, like that.
I think he was one of the standout figures of those early waves as well. Like he
does look good.
They knocked it out of the park with like the Gamorrean Guard, Dengar. But they've given him photo reel for the release that's coming this summer.
So will it? Does it? I mean, looking at we've got the fan stream in front of us. It looks like the colours are a bit more vivid.
Possibly.
Like slightly, the wearing might be different. You know, the wearing they put on.
I feel like there's not a lot you can do with that character anyway. It's quite
Dengar's Dengar, isn't he? Really?
Yeah. Unless
you're going like sequel trilogy version of Dengar, where he's a weird humanoid.
Oh yeah.
Thing.
Thing. He had a name.
Dengarin or some rubbish.
Or the Simon Pegg version from Clone Wars.
My preferred one. Out of the two, the future one, and because it's Simon Pegg, let's be honest.
What it could mean for the Vintage Collection, though, going forward, maybe we'll see some of the other bounty hunters.
I wondered if this is the first, because it's not anything to do with Tatooine, really.
No.
I mean, yes, he is featured in Jabba's palace.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's technically in Tatooine, but this is all about the cantina, really. He returned to Tatooine, to Mos Eisley, cantina, all that. It's more a New Hope focus. So the fact that it's like an Empire figure, sort of coming out now, I'm wondering if that's, like you said, that's the thing they're drip feeding.
Well, we got the Snow Trooper, didn't we, recently? So the Snow Trooper's starting to hit shelves this year. So that's an Empire Strikes Back figure, Empire affiliated. Dengar is here. I wonder maybe put a couple of feelers out there, and then next year is an Empire Strikes Back or a Empire centric
Return to the Star Destroyer, maybe.
I mean, there's lots of things you could do with it. Yeah. I mean, it's one that I'll probably pick up for the card back variant.
Yeah.
Because there is a different card back image.
Of course.
Which I think, again, is sensible if you're going to start repacking these figures in the Vintage Collection. Then, give those sort of carded collectors something to chase.
Bit of an incentive still to pick up another one, basically.
Yeah. If you're just a loose collector, for me, the photo reel's nice, but I don't need it. I think the paint apps are really good on the original release. But it's been 15 years since that figure was released. So,
15. How long has the TVC been going now?
Well, it started in 2010. Like, the fish properly started in 2010, because obviously you had those 30th anniversary and Saga collection sort of mini beats, didn't you, I guess?
Oh, God, I can't believe it's been so long.
Well, it ran for 3 years, then had a hiatus when we got introduced to the 6-inch line.
Yeah.
And then it came back. It came back in 2018. But those few years in the middle were dark times.
Dark time.
But we're back. 375 is alive and well.
Yes.
And
I just started randomly prepping for when next. And then we talking about.
So what's next, Ryan?
Well, you'll never guess. It's the Land Speeder. It's not a retro repack of this one, sadly. But it is still I think, a really nice looking land speeder. And the reason I picked up the box is because one first thing I want to talk about is the packaging for it. The packaging's awesome.
It's a proper throwback to the actual. I mean, they're always going to be with the vintage collection, but yeah, this one.
And it has a sand trooper on the front rather than the stand-in stormtrooper, because they didn't do until now a sand trooper. So box-wise, I think that's really nice. It's that perfect sort of homage.
Yes.
To it, and it's got like the similar kind of things on it. It sounds really stupid and weird question, and it's going to sound odd. So forgive me, YouTube. Do they still have kids playing with the toys on the boxes? Because one of the things about Kenner which is quite like iconic, is always like people being that, the marketing people putting their kids in the pictures, and custom creators, and even do that now. Like Pally Toys, I think has done that, and
they did in the vintage collection 1.0, because they definitely, like, when they did the Millennium Falcon, there was a kid playing with that. I can't think of one that they have done it with. Yeah. Since it came back.
Because that's something that I think is very Kenner. It's like, if you're going back to the Kenner packaging, is like, it's cool to have the big shots, but I still think there is something about like the toyeticness of having a child playing with it. But I can also see that we've moved on with these not being toys as much anymore.
That's generally, that would be the...
Having a 40-year-old me sitting there like that going...
It'd be like the SNL sketch with Bobby Moynihan, like they're playing.
Or leave it in the box.
Apart from that, then it's a really cool throwback. So it's a new land speeder. I think most collectors probably already knew this, but they've shown it off in more detail now, haven't they?
Yes.
They've shown the compartment where sort of C-3PO can sit, or at least
legs
put his legs in. Yeah. Just looking at the box art now. It comes with a pack-in figure.
Yeah, Luke, Farmboy. But what I do like about it, I know how you feel about pack-in figures normally. That's another video for Dave to come to terms with. But pack-in figure-wise, I think it's a sensible one.
Yeah.
Because it's not... I think it's one that you would, like... There's not really a troop builder other than maybe a sand trooper could go with it, but even that would seem a bit odd with the land speeder.
Yeah, I feel shortchanged if it was an army builder.
Yeah, and also you're not going to army build land speeders, realistically. A lot of people might get one or two, but the fact that this is one of those deluxe carded figures as well, so it's not a standard figure, it's the deluxe, which I'm still questioning the validity of what makes something deluxe now. Yeah. I look at my Crowd Smuggler Han Solo from the 90s, that was deluxe. But the figure has all the accessories, but it's good because you can do the multiple scenes of it, because it's a soft goods poncho. I think you got the hat.
Yeah, I mean he's coming kitted out with a rifle as well. Probably is the tool belt is going to be more kitted out than Batman. But it's a character that. There's not many outside of army builders that I'd buy multiples of, but I think Farm Boy Luke is one that I would do that with. So yeah, giving us another version of him, even if it is a pack-in figure on its own card back inside a deluxe item. I'm just going to have to come to terms with my own collecting rules that I set myself, and just crack it open, let it breathe, as they say. Because it's good. Yeah, I like the fact that we're getting another Farm Boy Luke with the poncho and all that.
So he really can be on it looking for the sand people. Yeah, he gives you options.
Absolutely.
It's not moulded with the poncho.
No.
Which is a good thing. But yeah, so that's the land speeder. I think it's a very nice modern update. I think interestingly they've put the play feature of the wheels back in.
Oh yeah, they have, yeah.
So, which I find really interesting because, like as I was saying earlier, I feel like these have moved on in a way from being toys, because I think the Epic World series has sort of taken over the mantle of kids' toys, and this is now for collectors. So to have like almost a play feature in it almost seems like it's nice. Don't get me wrong, I really like the fact that, because I think the hovering wheels is always a nice thing.
Yeah, they had to be wheels as well, because this isn't the reason the M1's out, but the M1 had a different sort of base, didn't it? Where you had like a sort of acrylic sort of stand without the base, where it looks like it's floating. But this needs to just not only float but also move.
True. Vroom. We need the vroom effectively.
Is that what it makes?
It is now.
Right, cool.
Well, I'm not going to attempt the noise of land speed, mate. Sweet.
I don't know. You're pretty good with the impression, but
that's true. Yeah, so that's the land speeder. Didn't come with a Womp Rat. That was my only thing I thought would have been cool.
That would have been good.
I'm sorry, I've ruined it for you now. I'm going to say sorry. Just because
There's still hope for that. Maybe with the Lars Homestead. You never know. Return to Tatooine's still got some.
Rebellions are built on hope, Dave. They really are. But yeah, I thought the Womp Rat would have been a nice little inclusion for an accessory because I know it's technically from the special edition, but there's that whole scene where they basically almost run over Womp Rats when it's going into Mos Eisley.
Are those Womp Rats? I thought they were.
Oh, there could be something else. But even if there's something else, I feel like just adding.
Add them in.
Yeah, add them in. Yeah. If they've not been made at all, then. But I just think. I don't even think you need to do a new Womp Rat. They've got the mould for it still. So I think even just re-releasing that.
Yeah, but they had a mould for the Massive and they still managed to get one of them out, didn't they? I was going to grab one, but there's not one there. So
you grab one, but then it's just like a domino.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the land speeder.
Yeah.
As a whole. What was the next one? It was.
I believe we're into
actually we can.
The Clone Wars.
Begun the Clone Wars have. Thank you very much. I'm here a week. All stream. Asajj Ventress.
This one's quite topical because obviously we've had the March Madness running up until today? Was it? Did they reveal the winner today?
Yeah, which was Mara Jade.
Mara Jade. I didn't actually get to vote in the final. I thought it was running all week. I'd voted in every round up until the final, and I couldn't decide between Asajj or Mara Jade. I didn't have either of them in my bracket. Like neither of them made my list.
Mara Jade. I mean, I voted Mara Jade.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because it's a really underrated character. I'm actually listening to the original Thrawn trilogy of books at the moment, in the audio book form on Audible. Yeah. It's not a sponsor, I'm just letting you know. And I forgot just how much I really love the character of Mara Jade. And obviously you got Dark Forces 2 Mysteries of the Sith, the game as well. Like she's a really important character. And I know it's technically EU now, or Legends, or whatever they want to call it. But
they've brought a lot of those figures back, not just back in canon, but like Hasbro are doing Thrawn and they're like an Heir to the Empire 3-pack, aren't they? So yes. I guess maybe that's why her popularity has shot up within the community. Because I like this figure. I think the head sculpt probably could do with updating. But yeah, I'll be pleased to get her. Well, I say we're not getting her, but yeah, pleased that she's become number one and Asajj was number two. So let's talk about Asajj because this was obviously the original Clone Wars animated release. This outfit hasn't been done since, not in 3 3/4 inch. So that was the only figure you could get.
I'm going to really nerd you now. Technically, this is the second Asajj because the first one was from the Tchaikovsky.
I mean this outfit. This specific, because we've had a few Ventresses in 3 3/4 inch.
But yeah, you are right. This is the first we've had of the modern Clone Wars, I think. Yeah, because even the realistic Tchaikovsky one had a slightly different outfit based on that. So
she had the white eyes.
Yeah,
that was really cool. I really liked that depiction of her.
But yeah, so nice to finally have like an update. Doesn't come with a hologram Dooku though. That's
no
little omission. But I will say the figure itself actually looks really decent. Like really decent. A much needed update and also a huge fan favourite. So number 2 in the poll for March Madness.
Yeah,
and I think it's been nice because even like when the Bad Batch came up, we had like I think a bit of a more like sort of reignition of the love for her character because her character obviously appeared in the Bad Batch as well, which was nice. Hopefully we'll get that version at some point.
That's kind of I wanted the Bounty Hunter version. Like if I was voting for Asajj, it would have been like her Bounty Hunter outfit in like later Clone Wars series. But I mean that's a solid start, absolutely. Yes. And hopefully it leads to more depictions of her.
It's good that she's got the hilt option as well.
Yeah.
I think that's nice. Comes with the sabers. The soft goods allows her to do the dynamic posing. And it looks like there is a bit of stiffness to the material, so it's not going to be like some of the earlier Jedi from the.
It's not like a bellowing cape.
No,
it's
So I think would look really good. I think just in setups in general, I think I'm looking forward to seeing the dioramas and things people are going to do with that one.
Yeah. Well, we're getting that updated Anakin for the Clone Wars as well. Although, we are, aren't we?
Yeah.
And she'll go great in many dioramas, like you say.
Not much to say really.
She's like a miniature Black Series release. I know we're not talking Black Series, but we know what the Black Series figures look like, and it is kind of like a shrunk down version. It's only when you sort of see what they can do with these all new sculpts, like yes, this is why we're still engaged with the
if they just downsized Black Series figures and released them in the vintage collection.
Well, if it was easy enough to do, then absolutely, yeah.
Like the whole of Skeleton Crew.
Another time.
Yeah, another time.
Yeah.
Pick your battles.
But not only that, she's like, it's an all new sculpt. She's got soft goods, like you say. She's got the hilts and the lightsabers, but she's packed on a single carded figure as well. Like, she's not a deluxe
because it's got 2 lightsabers.
Just because it's got 2 lightsabers, or you know, like they're able to do all that tooling and deliver us a brand new figure on a regular card back. And I think that is also important from a collecting point of view. Like, don't just whack the price up because you're giving us all new tooling. Like, there has to be some balance here. So yeah, happy with that.
Final one that we're before the big one.
Okay. Yes.
Is Agent Callus.
Yes.
This is the only figure we have of Agent Callus, and I'm glad it's the Imperial version of Agent Callus. I'll tell you for why, Dave.
Please do.
Because the good thing about that version of Callus is that it gives us the helmet and the uniform.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to make more other officers or just make it just a troop builder, you can use it as a troop builder.
Yes.
The later version after he sort of defects, spoiler alert, that's a one done figure. Whereas I think there is a lot of potential for head swapping on this one.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And there's so many head sculpts that they've done now, thanks to these 4-packs. Definitely swap them out, put the new helmet on. Yeah, good. It's another sensible. I say it's not a repack, but it's a sensible character choice. It should be easy enough to do. I don't know how much new tooling there is because obviously it's an Imperial sort of officer sculpt underneath. So maybe it's the new chest plate and the helmet and obviously the head.
And the weapon.
The weapon, yeah. I mean, fighting Zeb wherever he is back there.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun to set up.
And it comes with the effects as well for the ends, like the energy effects. I actually really like the energy and blast effects. No, it's not everyone's cup of tea.
No, but when it's on a weapon like that has them like that, like the Magna Guard sort of had them as well. I think that makes sense.
But one thing I was, again, not a big gripe, but it would be nice to, if the weapon doesn't fold, is to have, because this one came with effectively the folded gun version almost. I think it would have been nice to have that as well. So you could have had the folded one as well as an extended one.
Oh, is it only the extended version that it comes with?
I believe so, from what I've seen on the stream. So correct me if I'm wrong. And just be honest, you will. But yeah, I mean, the only other version we got is this Rebels, which I argue is very vintage style. 3.75.
I loved the Rebels line.
Me too. Unsung heroes, I think.
I wasn't a fan, when they moved away from the super articulatedness of 3.75, but I think because Rebels was a kids' show, getting figures that were affordable as well. I army built the crap out of those stormtroopers.
I'll say I've got loads.
I loved them.
The TIE Fighter pilot was a really nice sculpt as well, and the ATDP drivers.
Yeah,
got so many of those. That is the most vintage, not vintage Star Wars figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the only version we've had. Obviously, it's going to be really good to have him in a realistic scale and design, and like you said, the posability of it as well. I think it's going to add a lot, especially now that we've got the Ghost. People have got the Ghost.
Well, yeah, we haven't had a lot of Rebels releases since the Ghost either. I think there's a few gripes, isn't there, among the community. I mean, there's quite a few Ghosts popping up on the secondary market now because people have got storage issues for it or space issues even. But we're not seeing a whole lot that goes with the Ghost. I know Callus isn't technically on the Ghost in this Imperial disguise, but
he's going to battle on in front of it maybe or something, or inside it. I mean, make your own world and stories, kids. One thing I thought was sort of interesting though is it feels a bit like Star Wars. The Star Wars team are taking a bit of an approach from the Transformers team because so the Transformers thing at the moment is going across the whole of the legacy of Transformers. So it's Beast Wars to the Japanese anime to the comics to the G1 cartoon to the movies. It's everything is on the table, rather than just going this wave. It's not like Jesse's Diet from the Far Show. This week I will be mostly doing Tatooine. We've got the main Tatooine theme. However, in this reveal, we've got Empire Strikes Back Dengar. We've got a Clone Wars character in Asajj Ventress, and now we've got a Rebels character in Callus.
Yes.
So we are getting this, and I think it's nice that they're doing this approach. It's nice to have that main focus of the Return to Tatooine, but I'm very glad it's not exclusively Tatooine.
I think if it was exclusively Tatooine, we would all be a little bit fatigued already, and we're only in March. I know we've talked about it a lot. Your Fast Show reference is completely
sorry. I've been rewatching the Fast Show lately. Can you tell?
But yeah, not only that, different media. But you say main character. Dengar is not he might be one of the bounty hunters, but that's kind of not even a B-lister really.
He is also there.
But yeah, that gives me hope for the rest of the bounty hunters. Callus is absolutely essential. I think again we don't get enough bad guys in the vintage collection, so getting one of the main villains from Rebels, even if it's from the early seasons, fantastic. Really good. Right.
The big reveal. So one thing I would like to prefix this with is that prefix Mr. Stevie and Paul Lee have just been having the most fun on Instagram, and it genuinely has been an actual joy to watch.
It's been good fun watching the band. Yeah.
It's nice to have a bit of fun in that sort of, in the world of collecting. It's not always just serious or someone, angrily typing, where's my it's actually just like they're having fun with it. And, I hadn't realised we hadn't had Carson Teva yet at all.
I could have sworn the Black Series had him because they get
Yeah.
I could have sworn he was in that. So we are talking about Carson Teva.
Yes.
Okay. Who again? We don't have on the table because this is a brand new character debut. In Star Wars action figure world.
New sculpting as well. Completely.
Sculpting, and they got the man himself to do the reveal. How cool is that?
In his awesome room.
In his room. But he's a genuine Star Wars fan and collector and nerd. He's got the ghost in the background of his on his camera, and he just genuinely loves.
Directed by Dave Filoni on his t-shirt as well, which I thought was just brilliant.
Yeah. So how cool was that? Just to get him to reveal his own action figure.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I think it's about time because he's been the consistent character link.
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside of the Mandalorian himself,
he's like the wedge of the new series, I guess. Isn't he?
Nice. That's a good way of putting it.
But cooler,
Wow.
Wow. The reason
Mr. Lawson, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
So I adjusted the table the night before. We obviously added a couple of bits since, but I left the X-Wing on here because I was sure that the only way we were going to get Carson Teva was a pack-in with an X-Wing. I'm glad we're getting a single carded release. Whether we get him in just an X-Wing flight suit on his own with an X-Wing down the line, maybe, who knows? But
I'm looking forward to seeing, and this is coming from a larger gentleman himself. I'm interested to see how well he fits in the cockpit.
Oh, he'll fit.
Oh, yeah. Dave, that was
he'll fit.
Chills. No, but how well he'll fit, which is nice because one of the big problems with not using it in the same breath in a mean way, but Porkins, which is I still can't get over that. His name was Jack Porkins. That Power of the Force 2 figure does not fit in the X-Wing. Really?
No, only because when you sit him down, the legs spray.
He's got Ewok legs.
Ewok legs.
It's like
yeah. But they did redo him, didn't they? Sort of in the not Legacy Collection, but the Yavin Pilot 5-pack, and I think he could fit in a cockpit. I have no worries that Carson Teva will fit
as long as it fits well. That's it. I don't want it to stick out. I think
he's not even going in my X-Wing. He's going to be on missions.
Or he's going to be at the bar because he does like that bar. Just throwing it out there,
There's another use for one of those cups, isn't there?
There is. Look at that. Thank God we've got 100 odd cups. He comes in with the jacket as well, which I really like. The helmet's removable, but it looks like it's scaled removable.
Again, they've gone all out with all new tooling, and they've put it on a regular card back, thankfully.
This just ticked all your boxes, hasn't it, really?
This one has, because he's not a packing figure with a vehicle. I'll only be buying one. I only need one. I don't need one carded.
For now.
Yeah. But no, fantastic, and no one deserves it better. I think when they did Hera with her jacket and the flight suit, I think it just had a really cool look about it.
Yes.
So to have Carson Teva to go alongside her as well,
holds his weapon really nicely as well. Like actually in this pose, because I think that's sometimes a bit of the difficulty, especially when they put the jackets on or whatever. It's sometimes they're like our elbows are like really out here, but this actually looks like it's all fairly snug.
Yeah.
In its design, like I think it's a really impressive figure.
It's refreshing to be able to talk about all new figures because you know that they've got. I know you like the retro and the sort of the 5POA stuff, but like just the rocker ankles and the ball joint hips and the extra barbell in the neck, like all of that. When you're doing that on a brand new figure, my God, they look so good. They are miniature Black Series figures now. So.
And the detailing on the jacket with the badges and the emblems.
Yes, they spent a bit of time talking about that, which is really cool because obviously he designed everything on his jacket, which was really
How cool is that to be? Like, not only are you a big Star Wars fan, you get to be on Star Wars, you get to be a solidly main character, and let's be honest, he's going to appear in other things. If he doesn't appear in the Mandalorian Grogu film, I'll be shocked. He has now got his own figure, and it's got features that he designed on it. So not only that, you have actually actively contributed to that the universe building effectively, which is just insane. But I think that's the start of the stream, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Well, if you were ranking them,
well, I mean, Dengar is it's a sensible repack, but he obviously ranks bottom for me.
Yeah.
Like, Callus, I guess maybe next.
Callus below the Landspeeder.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the Landspeeder next thing because I don't need one because I've got the previous release, but Return to Tatooine, so it makes sense to get it out with another upgraded Luke. But yeah, the star is Carson Teva, and then closely followed by Asajj for me.
Very good choices.
How about you?
I'll probably agree, to be honest.
Yeah.
If Mara Jade was in there, Mara Jade would be number one. Actually, no, do you know what? Carson is definitely the star, but I'm going to put my second place to Callus, actually.
Okay.
Because I'm such a Rebels fan, and I love seeing new Empire sculpts. Now I'm thinking about the possibilities of it. Now, actually, I think there's so much more you can do with that figure. Just getting, it's an army builder.
Yeah.
Without being directly an army builder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's exciting. It's a good time to be a Star Wars fan.
It is a good time to be a Star Wars fan. I think it is anyway. I enjoy a lot of the new media. I can barely keep up with the figures that are getting released. I know that everyone has their own wants and wish lists, but
I couldn't afford them to do much more releases. So I know some people are like, get the whole of the Bad Batch out next, and this, and the list isn't. Don't get me wrong, there are things I want, but from like a being able to eat and live thing, I kind of am glad that the pace is what it is because I couldn't do a HasLab every year, but that would be a stretch. But I think like the release wise, it's a steady enough stream, and it's not too many big things. No. But like I don't know, like we'll see. But I'm happy with it. I know a lot of people are moaning, but it's not because we're shills.
Oh, I haven't even gone on the internet. I've just come straight from work and listened to the stream.
Yeah.
I had a quick look at the pictures when I picked you up. So this is just a raw reaction really to it all.
This is
I keep looking at
enjoying
Mara
the
Jade
Hobbit
though and thinking like
now you're thinking
great if she, her in the vintage collection really, don't we?
It could happen.
But yeah, and I like the fact they acknowledged the fan poll, the March Man. They didn't mention March Madness by name, but they said they acknowledged that Asajj had featured quite highly in it. The fact that these two were like the finalists as well. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I didn't have either of them anywhere close to being 1 and 2. So yeah, but it just shows there's so much variety out there. Everyone wants something different,
and there's so much that can still be done.
Yes.
And on that note, I think that pretty much wraps up our 375 Alive today.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Again, this is going out on both of our channels, so if you like what you've seen, if you're watching on Orion's channel, please check me out. If you're watching on my channel, please check Ryan out. The links are below. Until then, keep 375 alive!